So, guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are safe. I hope everything's good wherever you guys are going. Guys, a lot of you are asking me, Imran, when are you going to do the Spence Crawford videos? As you guys know, when it's a big fight week, which is next week, because Crawford and Spence are going to happen next week, I start doing a lot of videos on that particular fight. So next week is when I'm going to explode out with a lot of Spence and Crawford videos. That's when you're going to see me doing a shed load of Spence and Crawford videos. So don't worry. Next week is going to be that week where I'm going to do a lot of videos for Spence and Crawford. So stay tuned for that. So don't worry about that. I don't want to do it now because I've got a lot for you next week with Spence and Crawford. So I know a lot of you have been asking me about Spence and Crawford, but don't worry. I've got that covered. Next week, I am going to be doing a lot of Spence and Crawford videos. What I wanted to touch on here is I wanted to touch on Eddie Hearn talking about Callum Smith. He says he expects Callum Smith to beat Artur Beterbiev by violent KO. I don't know where Eddie Hearn is getting that confidence from. I don't know why Eddie Hearn is so confident about, Callum Smith beating Artur Beterbiev. If we look at Callum Smith's two fights where he struggled, where I thought he definitely lost against Canelo, and I thought he lost against Ryder, is when he fought against pressure fighters, because Callum Smith had no space to use those long levers that he's got. If you give Callum Smith space, that's where he's dangerous. If you don't give Callum Smith space and you're on top of him, it makes it very difficult for Callum Smith. So for me, Callum Smith is tailor-made for Beterbiev. Now, look, anyone can land a shot. It can happen in boxing. Anyone can land a punch. And Smith has got some pop. However, Artur Beterbiev's style is all wrong. If Canelo and Ryder, as pressure fighters, gave you trouble, then Artur Beterbiev is better than both those guys at being a pressure fighter. Canelo's not a better pressure fighter than Beterbiev. That's what Beterbiev does. That's him. That's what he does. Beterbiev will maul Callum Smith and make it a horrible, ugly, it'd be very difficult. I don't know whether Smith has got the power. Where I think he can hurt him. Can he finish him? I'm not so sure. A lot of people are going off the Yard fight. Yard can fight messy. Callum Smith hasn't shown me that he can fight on the inside that effectively. If you look at a lot of Callum Smith's shots, and when he's had a lot of successes, when he's fought guys at range. If you fight Callum Smith at range, it's a problem, because Callum Smith can use those long levers and he can put his shots together. But if you fight Callum Smith on the inside, Callum Smith, for me, is ineffective. And that's what we've seen in the Ryder and Canelo fights. And I think Beterbiev is going to make Callum Smith ineffective in this fight, because I don't think Callum Smith on the inside is going to be able to dictate this fight. And I don't think Callum Smith on the inside can land a big shot, because I don't think he's that type of fighter. Some fighters can land huge uppercuts, but I don't think Callum Smith, like I said, Callum Smith's best punch is the left hook. Left hook, right hand, but all of those, when he knocked out Ndam, that was at range. Even when he knocked out George Groves. George Groves was kind of playing into Callum Smith's game, where he was fighting at range. But that's how George Groves fights. So if Artur Beterbiev fights this fight at range, which he never does, right? We know how Artur Beterbiev is going to fight this fight. He's going to get close to Callum Smith, make it rough and tough. He's going to walk him down. That's what he does. That's how Artur Beterbiev fights. That's how he's fought previously, and there's nothing to say he's going to change now. And I think Callum Smith is going to go on the back foot. I think he's going to be on the back foot. And then eventually it's going to get to a point in the fight where I think he's going to start to survive, because I think he'll realize that this guy's firepower, if I open up, I'll get knocked out. And I think that's what it was against Canelo. I think he realized, if I open up, I could get knocked out here. So I think that the same thing will happen against Beterbiev, because Beterbiev is even bigger. He's even physically stronger. He punches harder than Canelo. So all of the things that Canelo does, Beterbiev does. And it's even worse because he's bigger, he's stronger, he punches harder, right? It's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. So for me, stylistically, this fight is all wrong. See, Yard, stylistically, that fight favor. Yard likes to make it a rough, tough. He's a physical fighter, and he's a physical specimen. Callum Smith is tall. It doesn't necessarily mean he's a physical specimen. He's got height, but Beterbiev isn't going to allow him to use that height, because he's going to cut the ring off. He's going to cut the ring off on him, and he's going to go on the inside. And like I said, Callum Smith is good at range. On the inside, I don't think Callum Smith is effective at all, to be honest with you. That's just my opinion about that fight. I think Callum Smith is going to get the ring cut off on him. And then I think Callum Smith is going to get... He's going to get slowly but surely beaten down by Artur Beterbiev, in my opinion. Look, I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, like I said, I've gone off on Smith. After the Canelo fight, it really put me off. And to be honest, before that, even like the Ryder fight, I don't think he's gone on to achieve, or he's gone on to be as good as I thought he was going to be. He's still a good fighter, still gone on to become a world champion, but I don't think he's kind of lived up to what I thought he would be initially when I first saw him. Or so far anyway. I mean, he's still fighting. You know, it's not like he's retired, but he's still fighting. So if he beats Beterbiev, then you'd say that, look, he's gone on to maybe even surpass what I thought. So, you know, because of how highly I rate Beterbiev. But, you know, this is going to be an interesting fight. I do think Smith has a chance, even though I don't think it's a huge one, but I do think he has a chance. So it's going to be interesting to see how Smith approaches this. Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.